this video, we will learn vocabulary on the topic of criminal punishments. So, let's get started.
Warning.
Warning is imposed upon people who commit less serious crimes and have multiple mitigating factors but are not eligible for exemption from a sentence.
Fine.
An amount of money that has to be paid as a punishment for not obeying a rule or law. Community sentence. Community sentence means forcing an offender to self-reform under the supervision of state agencies or social organizations where he or she works or resides. They have to perform certain obligations.
Expulsion.
The act of forcing someone, or being forced, to leave an organization, or country. Determinant imprisonment. Determinate imprisonment means forcing the convict to serve his or her sentence in a detention facility over a certain period of time.
Life imprisonment.
The punishment of being put in prison for a very long time without an arranged time for release, in the U.S., until death.
Death sentence.
Death sentence is a special sentence imposed upon people committing extremely serious crimes that infringe national security, human life, drug-related crimes, corruption-related crimes, and some other extremely serious crimes defined by the Vietnamese Criminal Code.
Prohibition from holding certain positions or doing certain works.
Prohibition from holding certain positions or doing certain works is an additional sentence imposed when the convict is deemed to cause harm to society if he or she is allowed to hold the positions or do the works.
Prohibition from residence.
Prohibition from residence means preventing the person sentenced to imprisonment from temporarily or permanently residing in certain administrative divisions.
Mandatory supervision.
Mandatory supervision means forcing a person sentenced to imprisonment to reside, work and live within a defined area under the supervision of the local authority and local people.
Deprivation of certain citizenship rights.
Deprivation of certain citizenship rights is an additional sentence, shall be imposed upon Vietnamese citizens sentenced to imprisonment for crimes that infringe national security or some other crimes defined by the Criminal Code of Vietnam.
Confiscation of property.
Confiscation of property is confiscation and transfer of part of or all of property under the ownership of the convict to the state budget.
Suspension of operation.
Suspension of operation means suspension of a corporate legal entity's activities in one or some fields in which the corporate legal entity harms human life, health, the environment, social security, or order and the damage can be repaired in reality.
Permanent shutdown.
Permanent shutdown means termination of a corporate legal entity's activities in one or some fields in which the corporate legal entity causes damage or possibly harms life, health of many people, causes environmental emergencies or negatively impacts social security or order and the damage cannot be repaired.
Prohibition from raising capital.
Prohibition from raising capital is an additional sentence imposed upon the convicted corporate legal entity in order to force them not to raise capital in different forms.